Bruce, it's okay.
Are you able to walk them?
Yeah, let's go. Bruce, let's go.
Okay, so my name's Sean. This is the first video I've made. So it's really kind of a test because I have no idea what I'm doing or really what these videos are going to be about. We're in Uralla, which is about, 20 minutes out of Armidale, where we live in the central coast of New South Wales in Australia, and we are basically in the middle of a trek to Cairns in North Queensland, which is where we're going to live. So I've had to come to Armidale for a couple of weeks because of the COVID-19 regulations, because where we were living was a hotspot. As it turned out, we organised everything, came here for a couple of weeks, and they opened the Queensland border the day we left the Central Coast, so we didn't actually need to come here, as it turned out, because we'd already organised everything. Here we are. So that's my wife, Shelley, and our two dogs. One on the left is Bruce. He's 10 years old, Kelpie crossed with Rottweiler. The one on the right is Dimmy, or Dimitri. We're not sure what he is. He's about 1.5 years old. When we got adopted him, they said he was a staffy, which he might have a bit of that in him. He's very talkative, I guess, like staffies are. Apart from that, we're not really sure. I kind of feel like he might have a bit of dingo in him, because he's a little bit anxious when he's out walking, and he tends to want to run everywhere. Whereas Bruce is a bit reactive to other dogs and things like that, but apart from that, he's relatively calm. He enjoys being out and about, getting to sniff everything. We're in I think this park's called Elmer Park. We'd only driven through Uralla before, we'd never stopped here, which is quite a nice little town. There are, as I can see looking over the other side of this park, there are dogs off leash, but they're not supposed to be. It's not an off leash area. We'll avoid them because Bruce doesn't do well when he's on leash and other dogs are off leash. Yeah, I saw that. So we'll just go this way. I might have to stop filming and grab hold of Bruce, because the two dogs can be a bit hard to control if he reacts to another dog. He's very friendly once he knows another dog, but his initial reaction is to react to them. He's never been vicious with another dog. He just sounds like he is. He sounds a bit like a werewolf, which scares people a bit. But he's since we've had him, he's actually been attacked a couple of times by other dogs, but he's never actually attacked another dog. He will growl and jump and bark, but he's never sort of bitten one or anything like that. But unfortunately, twice he's been attacked by Rottweilers, both times. Not badly, but they sort of grab him by the throat and pin him to the ground, which is a bit unpleasant and sort of difficult for us, because obviously when another dog does that to yours, your instinct is to get the dog off, and with 50 or 60 kilo Rottweilers, it can be a bit painful. We were going to walk to the other side of the park where there appears to be people camping. I'm not sure if that's actually allowed in this park. It would be interesting to know, but because there's dogs running off leash, we can't actually walk over there at the moment. I'll keep going. As you can see, I'm a bit out of breath, not as fit as I should be. So we're travelling, as I said, from the central coast of New South Wales to Cairns, North Queensland, which is about, for anyone who's not in Australia, it's about 3,000 kilometres, I guess, maybe 2.5 to 3,000. So it's about 28 driving hours But we're doing it, apart from being in Armidale for a couple of weeks, we're going to do it quite slowly. We'll stop about 5 times for probably a couple of days each time on the way up. So for our first video, Uralla is quite a nice little town. We've been quite impressed so far. We found driving here from the Central Coast, some towns are really depressed looking, whereas others are very, I guess, impressive, like well looked after, which makes a big difference when you're thinking about whether you're going to stop and get a coffee or not. And yeah, this is one of the good ones. I mean, this probably got a reasonable population here. I don't know how many, but some of the towns we went through looked like there were about 50 people living there. So you want to go that way? Okay. We basically usually on the lookout for parks and beaches that we can take the dogs to. We don't always. Demi can go off leash because he's quite submissive with other dogs. Bruce we don't usually let off leash unless we know the other dogs, or there are no other dogs. He's also, because he's older, he's got bad back legs, so he can't handle too much running anyway. Okay, I'll probably stop this now because we're going to where the other dogs are and just need to be prepared because it's a bit hard for Charlie to handle both. Okay, thanks for listening.